Okay, we should now be streaming.
Very good. Okay. John had an appointment today, so he will not be here. So in his absence, I'll convene the February 17th meeting of the Technical Transportation Committee. And the first item on the agenda will be to call the roll. And I'll call John Fricker, but I'm quite sure that he's not here. Scott Chandler or Bill Smith?
Bill Smith is present.
Thank you, Bill. Mitch Langford?
Here.
Jeremy Grenard?
Here.
Marty Sennett? Bryce Gibson?
Present.
Jason Philauer?
Here.
Adam Keister?
Here.
I'm here. And John Ricks? Stu Klein?
Here.
And Will Carpenter. Okay, let me check on Woody Ricks one more time. Okay, we have a quorum. And the first item on the agenda are the minutes from January 20th meeting. And I take a motion for approval, and then we can discuss whether there are any corrections or additions.
This is Stu. I move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Jeremy.
This Adam, I'll second.
Oh, I'll let Adam second.
Okay. Thank you, Adam. Are there any additions or corrections to be made? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved as distributed. Do we have any access permits from NDOT?
So a quick update, the Love's Truck Stop, State Road 25 and I-65, we are reviewing plans today. So a lot of revisions came in. We'll see how that turns out. So we're in the plan review on that today. We haven't seen anything on the 52 Veterans Memorial since it's been a while. And we don't have a permit application yet. But another commercial drive that is coming soon is the cottages on State Road 26 west of US 231. So nothing new, no new applications in the last month. Sally.
Okay, and to give you an update, the rezoning petition that would make that cottages case possible will be heard by the Area Plan Commission tonight at 6 o'clock. For a recommendation, either favorable or unfavorable to the Board of County Commissioners, who would then hear it the first Monday in March. And their decision will be final. So we'll keep you posted about that.
Appreciate that. We're eager to see how that turns out.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Bill on any of the permits or any other comments to add? Okay, we'll move on then to the amendment of the 2020 to 2024 TIP, and this is an amendment for City Bus. And I think Doug, oh, no.
Yes,
I think Doug is here, okay.
I am here.
Furnace problems today.
Yes, I still do, and I am waiting for the technician to come anytime, so if I have to leave, you will know why.
Thank you, and Tim will take over for you. Thanks, Doug.
The city bus has requested an amendment for our current TIP, which is the 20 to 24 TIP, and they have reviewed their calendar year 2021 projects and would like to make some changes, both to their operating assistance, capital assistance, and plan, and add a Planning Assistance Project. The information is your staff report. I'll briefly go over it. For operating assistance, due to CARE Act's fund, they are going to be using a pinch less of federal funds and a pinch more of local funds, and a slight change in the total cost. So not a very big change with that. For their capital projects, there are some changes. First, an increase in the amount of funds needed for bus engines overhaul, and that's because of the CNG engines. An increase in the replacement price for the support vehicle. Truck prices are increasing. A significant increase to their fixed route bus replacement. As you can see there, they're now looking at purchasing 5 40-foot buses and 2 60-foot buses. And then we also have some new projects. Facility rehabilitation, looking at things to upgrade around their administration and garage office. Additional shop equipment, some departure signage that will go at the City Bus Center. And then the new planning project is a feasibility engineering services, looking at converting current production area to revenue, support vehicle storage, and preventive maintenance area for property at on Duncan Road. The following tables provide the detailed information. The City Bus Board of Directors did authorize City Bus to request this at their January 27th meeting, and APC staff is recommending approval. Any questions I can answer?
Bryce, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think Doug covered everything pretty much. Pretty excited about some of the projects on the list. Yeah, that's all I've got for right now.
Great, thank you. Anybody else have questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved, Jeremy.
Is there a second, please?
Stu, second.
Okay. Any additional questions? If not, I'll take a roll call vote. Bill Smith,
Aye, in favor.
Mitch Langford,
Aye.
Jeremy Grenard,
Aye.
Bryce Gibson,
Aye.
Jason Philauer,
Yes.
Adam Keister,
Aye.
Stu Klein,
Aye.
and myself as an aye. And let me check one more time if Woody Ricks has joined. No. Okay. So by unanimous vote, the amendment is approved.
Hey, thank you very much.
The next item are the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan goals, objectives, and performance measures, and that will be Tim.
Hello, everyone. So this is something that we've kind of been talking about a little bit already in the past couple meetings, but we wanted to kind of give an update, as well as we're hitting a pretty important milestone at this meeting, in that we're trying to kind of officially adopt these goals, objectives, and performance measures. So what we had done previously is we had sent out some public surveys to get some feedback on the importance to the community of different goals and objectives. So we received that feedback, and some of that is detailed in the staff report that is on the screen right now. So really quickly, just to hit a couple of the highlights. Improving safety for all users was considered the most important goal, and within that goal, the most important objective to survey respondents was to identify and rebuild high crash intersections, followed closely by constructing more trails and sidewalks. And there are several other goals and objectives throughout the report. I don't necessarily want to go through them all. We've talked about them a little bit at previous meetings, but this information is available in the packet that was posted on the Tippecanoe County website if anyone in the future is interested in going back and looking through this in a little more detail. So kind of the new part is what I'm showing now, which is the performance measure aspect. So after getting this feedback from the public about goals and objectives, then it became our job as the planners to find ways that we can get some data to measure how well we're doing some of these things. So we went through item by item for each goal and each objective, and we found at least one performance measure. Some of these actually have a couple of performance measures that will be needed to really accurately assess how well we're meeting the goals and objectives. And again, those are all listed here in the packet. We've discussed this with the city engineers and county highway department, and that has confirmed that we are going to be able to get all the data that we need in order to actually compare these from year to year and see where we're at in terms of progress, especially as we continue to go forward into future plans. So not just looking at the 2050 plan, but how are things when we make the 2055, the 2060, and so on, and all those other plans. So what we are asking for today is for you as the technical committee to recommend approval of these goals, objectives, and performance measures to the policy board. And if you recommend that approval, then once the policy board votes, and assuming they approve them, then they will become official and they will be adopted into the 2050 MTP. So at this time, are there any questions? All right, I'm not hearing any, so in that case, I would entertain a motion to recommend approval of these goals, objectives, and performance measures to the policy board.
Stu Klein, I'll move.
Bill Smith, I will second.
Okay, and then before we vote, let's see if we have any comment from our streaming platforms. Aria or Maureen? Okay.
All right, looks like Aria has let us know that there are no comments at this time.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote again. Bill Smith,
Aye.
Mitch Langford,
Aye.
Jeremy Granard,
Aye.
Bryce Gibson,
Aye.
Jason Philauer,
Aye.
Adam Keister,
Aye.
Stu Klein,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So we have a unanimous vote to recommend the goals, objectives, and performance measures to the policy board. Okay, the next item on the agenda is APC progress report, and the MPO update. We'll start with the new 2022 to 2026 tip. If Doug's still with us, he looks like he is.
Yes,
We'll
I
turn
am. If you remember back last month at our meeting, we allocated all of our federal funds. And then after that, it was up to the APC staff to finish the draft document. And I do have some good news in that we have finished the draft document and did submit it to NDOT last Thursday. NDOT's deadline was actually this past Monday, so we did get it in on time. Now looking ahead, the next step would be our public meeting, which will be held at our next CPC meeting, which is March 10th on a Wednesday. And that's when we'll be looking for official public comment. We are still looking for public comment, and we will be sending out our next round of notices here very shortly. Once we have our public meeting, then we will be presenting the draft document to this body in April. And then in all hopes, if this body recommends it, it will be presented to the policy board at their May meeting. So we are looking good and it's progressing well. Any questions?
Doug, I have a question. This is Sally.
Yes.
Do we know when to expect back comments from INDOT, Federal Highway, and FTA?
What I have heard is that they are supposed to give comments back by March 15th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then I should mention one additional thing is that when we do have our public meeting with the CPC meeting, INDOT will be presenting the State Transportation Improvement Program information as well.
Doug, it's Stu. I don't
Yes.
know if that's posted anywhere or not, but could we get copies of the draft that went to the state?
Yes, I can send you the draft copy of it. It is actually posted on the APC webpage. I believe it's on at two locations, on the main APC webpage, and then also in the Transportation Improvement Program webpage.
Okay, I'll look again. I'm not real good at that. No, I'll email you if I can't find it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stu, if you want a printed copy, we'll just walk one upstairs to you.
That would be really nice.
Okay. Anybody else want a printed copy? Okay, let us know.
Here.
Okay, next item is the federal funding obligations. Doug, take it away.
Earlier this month, we normally receive INDOT's report on our obligation and balances. When we did receive the report earlier this month, it did not show any obligations as of yet. But the good news is that we had very good bid lettings in January. And in addition to that, we processed two FEMA requests, one for funding the railroad improvements on Lindbergh Road, and then also with the residual federal funds, because Park East had very good bids, we were able to move those funds from construction to construction engineering. So in essence, between the three projects in funding construction, funding the railroad, and construction engineering for Park East, we in essence obligated all of our federal funds for this fiscal year. So there will be no moving money around in projects. Good news, got it done early.
Any questions of Doug? If not, we'll move to the next item, which is planning certification review. We were notified a couple weeks ago by INDOT that they would be doing our planning certification review, which occurs every, I don't remember, 4 or 5 years, I think 5 years. And it will be March 22nd. We are charged by INDOT with preparing what will amount to a massive PowerPoint presentation on every little bitty aspect of what we do in transportation planning. That program certification review will be held virtually on March 22nd. And as far as I know, you folks can attend if you want. I know City Bus will for sure be invited as a part of that. So if you want to sit through a day or most of a day of that, you're welcome to, and we'll make sure that you get access to the virtual meeting. So that's it, just to keep you informed. And let you know if you want to attend. You're more than welcome to. The next item is the new, the new executive director hire. I think probably all of you know about that, but in case I don't want anybody to be uninformed, my retirement will take effect at the end of March. The new executive director for the Plan Commission and the MPO is a gentleman named David Hittle, Hittle. He is currently the executive director of the Johnson County Plan Commission, which is on the south side of Indianapolis. Franklin and I think it's Greenwood, are in Johnson County, although they have their own Plan Commission. So this is a Plan Commission only of the unincorporated portion of Johnson County. So his first day is March 1st. And then he and I will have at least 4 weeks and up to 6 weeks of training and transition period. So when that's over, then I will be a normal citizen again, figuring out what Sally 2.0 looks like. Anyway, so I know that you'll all be helpful to David. He does not have transportation and MPO experience, except sort of tangentially with the Indianapolis MPO, because Johnson County is one of their sort of donut counties. But I think he'll be great, and I know you'll get along well with them. So the next item is the 18-month letting list.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. A lot of information packed in this staff report. As you can see, the first 5 projects listed, 3 are local projects and 2 are NDOT projects, one being on State Road 28, the other being on State Road 26. The information on the number of bidders, project award, engineering estimates, and the estimation completion dates are actually all on page 3. I'll just go through those fairly quickly. For the State Road 28 project, it was awarded to Milestone contractors for $12.8 million. Estimated completion date October 28th of 2023. The Lindbergh Road project awarded to Reith Riley for $3.38 million. Estimated completion date October 15th of 2022. North River Road project awarded to White Construction for $3.78 million. Estimated completion date September 30th of 2023. Park East Boulevard awarded to Reith Riley for $1.97 million. Engineer's estimate $2.53 million. Estimated completion date October 29th of 2022. And then 26 project awarded to Reith Riley for $2.29 million. Estimated completion date November 13th of 2021. Going back up to the list, there were a number of projects that were on this month's bid letting. They were all on the Hoosier Heartland thin deck overlay projects. I don't have the specific information with me, but I know that there were, I think, 5-6 bidders on this. And there were some of them were under the engineer's estimate. Looking down the list, project 13 actually moved from a March letting to an April letting. And then looking further down, we have projects 14 through 18 will be the last projects let this fiscal year. Looking on the second page, that's where we'll see significant number of changes. Projects 32 and 33, State Road 43, they were moved from a December 2021 letting to a February 2022 letting. And then 35 on down, if you look, kind of exciting to see these on a February 9th, 2022 letting. You'll notice all of these are on I-65. And projects 37, 38 added travel lanes. So the next phase of widening the I-65 to 6 travel lanes is moving forward. Exciting news. Any questions or comments on the 18-month letting list?
Okay, if not, we'll move on to quarterly progress reports. And that'll be Tim.
Okay, so I'm gonna call a little bit of an audible here. Normally we start with Tippecanoe County, but we have a consultant with us for one of the West Lafayette projects. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and start with West Lafayette's projects, and then we'll kind of circle back to the top. Okay, so the projects that we have some questions about that the consultant is here to answer for us, specifically is the Sagamore Parkway Trail project. So what we've kind of noticed in our project monitoring of this is that some of the milestones have kind of continued to be pushed back, specifically the environmental report completion milestone. So within the last couple quarterly reports, it's moved from September of 2020 all the way to March of 2021. So our main concern with this project is not only that that will get complete, but that the fact that it's been delayed will affect other milestones, such as stage 3 design, for example. And the main reason why we're concerned about this, of course, is because the funding for each fiscal year is pretty tight, and we don't want this to end up slipping too much and risk losing potential federal funding. So either Mitch or the consultant, VS Engineering, if you guys would like to address those, we'd really appreciate that.
No, that regarding the city. Go ahead, Mitch.
Regarding, Mike, I was just going to say, I'll let Mike take over.
Regarding the environmental document, I can just say the status of that is that it's currently being reviewed by NDOT. They had a few questions just recently regarding just needing some additional information about the trail system here and tie-ins and so forth. So they should be completing the review of that within the next week or two. And then that will be in a March, late March approval is what we anticipate. So that did lag, as did some other things. The main lag reason has to do with some trying to get rest areas and ADA issues straight and according to city desires and so forth. So that's hung us up a little bit in addition to just our own workload and several local projects going to letting, honestly. But we do anticipate, we've worked forward on stage 3. We've got hydraulics complete and maintenance of traffic. So we've worked ahead on stage 3, even though our percentage, I didn't reflect that, but I just was going step by step in terms of completing the previous stage before advancing, but that's probably really at 50%. So again, we anticipate CE document to be ironed out by the end of March, and stage 3, assuming it even stayed on a stage 3 June 25th date, we could probably hit that. But it is getting tight, and we regret that, of course, and wish it were different. But our workload is opening up right now after several local project lettings, and we feel like we have the capacity to get that completed. So.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. I did want to give Sally and Doug a chance to chime in if they have anything that they would like to further ask of the consultant.
The only thing I guess I'd like to request is that you make sure we get a % complete updated every month. Otherwise, we start to get concerned.
Will do.
Thank you.
I'm good to go. I have no other questions. Appreciate the update.
Mitch, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, we've been in talks with Mike at VS and NDOT about moving that letting date, and you'll be receiving an email here next week to request that. But that's mainly driven by a local funding constraint for our match. So we're looking at a January 22. So it's a 2-month shift, but it'll still fall within the fiscal year in which funds are allocated.
Great. Yeah, getting it into a new calendar year for you could help a lot.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
Okay. Yeah, as long as it stays in the same fiscal year and we can get it through the contract phase in that fiscal year, I think we'll be fine. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. And Tim, if you want to go back to wherever you want to start or continue.
Yeah, well, just really quickly, I know that this Sagamore Parkway Trail has been one of those projects that takes some twists and turns. So I do just want to reiterate that I appreciate VS Engineering and their willingness to come here today and kind of just clarify what's going on. I know sometimes just looking at a quarterly report doesn't really tell the full story of a project. So we do really appreciate the chance to have some dialogue with you and you guys being willing to accommodate our schedule. So thank you for that. And with that, I'm just going to move on to the start of the West Lafayette projects. They have 2 more. So the first project that West Lafayette has is the Cherry Lane extension. And we don't really have any comments on this other than to say that we did receive an email from NDOT in January indicating that this project will not need quarterly reports in the future. So we're not going to be seeing this next time we do quarterly report tracking. So really great to see that project has moved along and gone through the process. We think it's a good project, so we're glad to see that one has progressed to this stage. And then our last project for West Lafayette is the Soldiers Home Road Phase 1 project. And we did note that a couple of milestone dates were not listed in the last quarterly report that we got. So specifically the Stage 2 design completion date, as well as a letting date. So what we're wondering is just when we will have an updated estimate for those 2 dates, Mitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one obviously keeps coming up since we've been, I think it's been on the tip since 2014, somewhere around there. And that's where the original schedule was built upon. So currently we plan on getting this out, and we do have it out for RFP and selecting a designer sometime during the fiscal year 2022, July, hopefully, so we can get a jump on it for local funding reasons this year within the 2021 City of West Lafayette budget year. And once that consultant's selected, I think we'll be able to iron out these dates a little further. We had our update meeting with NDOT earlier this week, and we're going to have to adjust the letting date on this. Again, that was selected. I don't know when. Probably when this was originally added onto the tip years ago, and that was, I'm guessing, a worst case scenario outlook, and we're just simply not going to be able to meet that given how funding has turned out throughout the years. So once we work with the consultant, we can iron down these dates finally to something more realistic. Right now, what I've shown is are dates that would meet a letting date that conforms to our current agreement with NDOT. But again, we're going to have to amend that agreement to reflect a more realistic letting date that takes into account when construction funding will be available for this project. So hopefully in the near future, we'll have good dates on here for you to find it.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
That phone call, quarterly reporting phone call with Mitch and NDOT just to let NDOT know that we were working through the funding in the new tip, and that once we knew when there would be funds for construction of this project, then Mitch would know that, and he can work with Susie and her crew to amend the letting date with it in their contract with NDOT.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for clearing that up, Sally and Mitch. So that should go ahead and end what we have for West Lafayette. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the county and kind of start with them, and then we'll get Lafayette last, I guess. So, all right, let's see.
Stu, I got to leave in about 5 minutes. Mike Spencer will step in. I have to step out, but I'm just letting you know.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so our first project is the Klondike Road project. So we don't really have too many comments about this, other than that we noted that there was an increase in construction costs, which we did know about. Stu has been keeping us informed of this. So we just wanted to note that unfortunately no additional federal funding is available. So all cost increases will have to be paid with local funds. So we're hoping that we won't see any more cost increases, so we don't have to pay any more local funds. So fingers crossed on that. The next project then is the Lindbergh Road project. So again, we don't have too many comments on this. We did get a project letting for this. I did let, and we here at APC did process the FEMA's request. We sent out a letter of authorization for the FEMA, all that process stuff for the KP&S Railroad funding on January 14th. So that has been taken care of. So this project is moving forward. So we're glad about that. The next project is Concord Road, County Road 430 South. So we believe that this project is finally officially closed out, so that we won't be receiving any more reports for it. So we did not receive a report this time. So I just wanted to get confirmation that this project is indeed closed out and we won't be receiving further quarterly reports.
Yeah, it's closed out. I don't think you had a report this quarter, did you?
No, we did not, but we just always like to double check once we don't receive a report that we just didn't miss something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we will not include that one in next time then. Thank you for confirming that, Stu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the next project is the River Road at County Road 500 North. So the project was let on January 13th, and similar to the previous project, the Lindbergh project, we did send out our federal funding MPO approval letter. So this is moving along as well. So we're grateful for that. Good to see that moving along. The next project is Morehouse Road. So for this project, we just wanted to note that the last time quarterly project tracking was discussed, it was stated that the environmental report should be complete in the spring of this year. And in talking with the county highway director, Stu, he did mention that the completion date will be changing from previously it was spring of 2020 to sometime spring or summer of this year. So Stu, I don't know if you wanted to give any comments about that.
No, I think, I've been through the rather long dissertations of explanations for those delays. But I believe it is on track. It's been through review, and those delays are not affecting the letting date. The biggest issue on that one, which just finalized out today, was that because of that being split phase, Susie has confirmed that we cannot roll funds on construction. So we will have to have two DES numbers. Working with the consultant on a split somewhere just north of the roundabout, so that we'll have the 2.5 million and the 5 point whatever $1 million projects but there will be 2 lettings and possibly 2 different contractors. That's the word I'm getting from NDOT.
You don't have to redo engineering.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update. We'll note that for future potential reports.
Okay.
Okay, so then the next project is the Jaeger Road reconstruction. So our question on this was just whether or not right-of-way services have been started yet.
Yes, they have.
Okay, great. Thank you for confirming that, Stu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our next project is the Mccutcheon Pedestrian Safety Project. So our question was about stage 3 design. So the date for that is listed as June of 2022, but it is also at a 0% completion so far. So we're just wondering if stage 3 design is still on track to hit that June of 2022 date.
Yeah. There were some delays in, with scoping changes, but we're in right away. We have the final alignments set, and we've had discussions with the consultant. We're still on track for to meet our funding for 11/16/22 lending.
Okay, great.
So we're good.
All right, good to hear that. So our next project is bridge number 64. So we did note a small cost increase in the PE estimate. So similar kind of question, just wanted to confirm that stage 1 design is on track to be completed by March of this year. It only lists 11% in the report.
Yeah, I think that was a fairly conservative number for them. We've had discussions when the reason for the bump in the PE was a structural situation on the bridge, and we agree. So we're funding the work back, but it hasn't changed the timing for the letting.
Okay, thank you. So our next project, bridge number 65. So basically this is just exactly the same question. Just to double check to make sure that stage 1 design is on track to be completed by March of 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of these were pre-designed as Straight County. So most of the submissions that the timing is more environmental than anything else.
Okay.
There's kind of plans in the can.
Got it. Thank you. So our next project is bridge number 527. So we were just noticed that the PE estimate has been hopping back and forth a little. It had been 204,000 for the first couple reports we got for it. Then it jumped up to 431. Now it's back down to 204. So we're just wanting to make sure that that's correct, or if there's anything going on with that project that we need to know about funding wise.
No, there have been no real changes. It's early estimates and developmental estimates as we've been moving ahead, pretty much. I think we finally settled in on a reasonable price.
Okay.
Arm twisting.
Mhm.
That should be a little-
That it?
Well, basically, yes, there is the county bridge inspections, but we did not have any comment on those. Those seem to be proceeding as expected. So I don't know, Mike, if you want to say anything about that, you're welcome to.
Good time for Mike to step in.
I think the bridge inspection plan is progressing as we all want it to, and everything is going well.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of our sense of this too. So thank you for confirming that, Mike. Okay, that is the last project for the county. So now we'll move on to the projects for Lafayette. So for Twickenham Boulevard, we were glad to hear that all construction was complete and that Lafayette is progressing to close out their POs on the project. So that's some good news. We do not have any other comments about this. So Jeremy, unless you wanted to say something additional about this,
I think we're good on that.
okay, great. Glad to hear. So the next project is the Park East Boulevard extension. So for this one, we just wanted to note that the project was let on January 13th, and we did send the FEMAS authorization on to NDOT. So this project is moving along. So I don't think we had too much to say about this. We were also glad to hear that there were some favorable bids on this project, as Doug referred to earlier. So that's always a really nice thing to see. So yeah, we don't have anything else unless you want to add something, Jeremy.
Nope, we were pleasantly surprised with the bids as well, and look forward to getting it going.
All right, sounds good. So then the next project would be the Concord Road trail lighting. So we had in the past experienced a few delays with getting some poles and luminaries in due to COVID-19, but it looks like that is all resolved. Construction has been completed. So even with that slight delay, there will be a change order taken to the Lafayette, that was taken to the Lafayette Board of Works, I should say. And so it seems like everything's been ironed out with this project, which is good. So unless you had any comments, Jeremy, we didn't have anything else.
Nope, that's correct.
All right, and then the last project, South 9th Street. So our question on this was about the environmental report. So it lists a completion date of September of 2021, but we did note that under the percent complete column, it was listed as 0%. So we just wanted to check and see if the environmental report is on track to be completed by that September of 2021 milestone.
Yeah, actually, we have begun that environmental report. We're currently on track for the 9/21. I say currently because when we worked out the TIP funding, it got pushed back a year. So we may end up sliding that out a little, but as of right now, it is on the 9/21 schedule. And I'll just update it on future quarterly reports if it changes.
Okay, that works for us. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. It's, you know, these quarterly reports came at kind of a weird time because they were right before we got everything finalized for the TIP. So we kind of understand that there are some adjustments that were necessitated by that, and that's okay. But thank you all for talking about that. And we do not have any other projects. So that wraps up quarterly tracking, unless I missed something that someone wanted to comment about, or if there are any questions from any committee members or any public comments, Aria. Okay, Aria says that there are no comments. Thank you for posting that, Aria. So I guess with that, we are done with the quarterly reports item, so I'll turn it back over to Sally.
Okie doke. The next item is other business. I don't have any, so if anybody does, now's your time. Okay, and then we'll take a minute and see if we have any general citizens' comments. I will begin timing for 30 seconds or so. Okay, Aria, do we have anything generally from the public? Okay, no public comments, so we are ready for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, we are adjourned and the next meeting is March 17th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.